Picture silence. Not the kind that calms you down, the kind that comes right before everything falls apart. A man standing in a parking lot, a cardboard box in his hands. 8 years of his life, packed into cardboard. He just got fired. The reason? $23. $23. He doesn't scream, doesn't punch his car. He just stands there, and in that moment, something cold is born inside him. Something precise, something final. 8 hours after this moment, the company that threw him out will lose a $4 million contract, and he'll be the one who makes it happen, without saying a single word. His name was Marcus, 37 years old, senior sales manager at a mid-sized logistics company in Dallas. 8 years at this firm. 8 years of late nights, closed deals, and saved clients. 8 years. That's not just a job. That was his second home. The company was called Meridian Logistics. Not a giant, but a solid player. Around 200 employees, contracts with several major retailers, and one contract that kept the whole operation alive. A client Marcus had personally brought in 3 years earlier. A $4 million a year contract. Marcus knew this client personally. They did lunch together, talked on weekends, were friends, as much as you can be friends in business. This was his deal, his relationship, his result. Then a new director walked through the door. His name was David Harris, 44 years old, perfect suit, firm handshake, the look of a man who's already decided he's the smartest person in the room. Harris came in to optimize processes. That word, optimize, in the corporate world, means exactly one thing. Someone's getting fired. Marcus felt it immediately. Harris looked at him differently than everyone else. Not with respect, with calculation. Like a man who doesn't see a colleague, he sees an obstacle. Marcus was too independent, too confident, too well-liked by the team. For a new boss, people like that aren't assets, they're threats. Psychologists call this the alpha displacement phenomenon. When a new leader steps onto someone else's territory, they instinctively go after the strongest player on the team and try to neutralize them. Not because that person is doing a bad job, but because they're doing too good of a job, and that makes the new boss feel irrelevant. Harris started nitpicking, small stuff, insignificant details, formalities nobody had ever cared about before. That day, Marcus came back from a client meeting, standard business lunch. He paid out of pocket and submitted a reimbursement request, something he'd done hundreds of times over 8 years. Amount, $23. Business lunch, one person. The next morning, he got called into Harris's office. Harris was sitting straight up, a folder on the desk, the expression of a man holding court. "This expense can't be reimbursed." "Why?" Marcus said. "This is a standard business meeting. I've been doing this for 8 years." "Because I said so. New policy." "What new policy?" Nothing was announced. "Marcus," Harris closed the folder, "you push back on my decisions too often. It creates problems for the team." Marcus felt something tighten in his chest. Not fear, something colder than that. "You're firing me over $23. I'm firing you for ongoing insubordination." $23 was the last straw. Security walked him to the front desk, a box for his personal belongings. 8 years, into a cardboard box. Marcus walked out to the parking lot, set the box down on the asphalt, and stood there for a few minutes, staring at the building where he'd spent a third of his adult life. Then he took out his phone. First thing he did was text his client. That client. The $4 million one, not to complain, not to ask for anything, just to let him know he was no longer at Meridian and that he'd like to meet in person this week. The client replied in 7 minutes. "Tomorrow, 10 a.m., You know where. Marcus knew. That night, he didn't sleep. Not because he was angry. The anger had already turned into something else. Clarity. He was thinking, calculating, planning. Here's what you need to understand about the psychology of revenge in situations like this. Most people who get unfairly fired do one of two things. They go quietly, swallow the humiliation, and move on. Or they explode, angry emails, bad reviews, screaming into the void. Neither works. Marcus chose a third option: cold, precise, irreversible. The next morning, he was sitting across from James Cole, the head of procurement at the retail chain that was Meridian's biggest client. Cole had known Marcus for 7 years. Marcus was the one who convinced him to sign the first contract. Marcus was the one who handled problems personally, any time of day or night. Marcus was the one who called him on Sunday evenings when the supply chain went sideways. Marcus didn't ask for anything. He just told him what happened. Calmly, no emotion, just the facts. Cole listened without saying a word. When Marcus finished, Cole looked out the window for a long moment, then said one sentence: "If you're not there, we're not there either." That same day, the retail chain's legal team sent Meridian an official notice. Contract terminated. Reason: loss of confidence in the team, responsible for execution. Timeline: 30 days, $4 million a year, gone. Harris found out on Tuesday afternoon. People who were there said he just sat in his office, staring at the notice. Didn't say anything, just stared. Because in that moment, he understood something he hadn't understood the day before. Marcus was the company, not the logo, not the office, not the optimized processes. One human being who had spent 8 years building relationships that can't be transferred through a policy manual. 3 months later, Meridian lost 2 more major clients. They followed the reputation out the door. 6 months after that, the company announced restructuring. Harris left his position by mutual agreement. Marcus, by that point, had already launched his own agency. His first client was James Cole. So what actually happened here? Harris made the mistake that thousands of managers make every single day. He confused power with actual value. Power is the signature on a termination notice. Actual value is what walks out the door with the person you just fired. Psychologists call this invisible capital. It's not a line in a report, it's not a KPI, it's not a slide in a presentation. It's the trust that one person built over years with clients, partners, colleagues. And when that person leaves, the invisible capital goes with them, completely, instantly. Harris saw Marcus as a cost center. The client saw Marcus as the only reason to stay. This isn't just a business story. It's a story about what happens when narcissism gets power and starts dismantling everything that others spent years building. Research shows that managers with narcissistic traits lose key employees twice as fast on average and never understand why until it's too late. Because a narcissist doesn't see people, he sees resources, and he doesn't know the difference until the resource walks out and takes everything that kept the company alive. Marcus never called Meridian, never wrote, never commented. He just got on with his life. His agency now works with 6 major clients. Revenue, more than his entire 8 years of salary at Meridian combined. Sometimes people ask him if he regrets that day. The box, the parking lot, the $23. He always gives the same answer. It's the best thing Harris ever did for me. Here's the irony of getting unfairly fired. Sometimes the person who throws you out does you a favor you never would have asked for yourself. The only question is, what do you do with it? Drop a comment right now. Have you ever been fired unfairly? One word. Fired, if you know that feeling. Next video. A woman who discovered her husband's secret second family. Not by accident. She was looking, and what she did at his company party. People are still talking about it.